I used to format my vlogs in the past, but I've kind of let it slide, but not anymore. This time, night photography and Jason Bourne. Many of you may have noticed on my social media that I've been doing a little bit of night photography the past few days, and night photography is one of those things that I'm good at because I understand it, but it's not something that everybody can do. You definitely can't do it from your phone. Night photography takes a lot of, it takes a camera that can do like a 15 or 30 second exposure. For example, this one's a 30-second exposure straight up at the night sky. It takes your phone, for example, may only do like a quarter of a second or maybe a second exposure, maybe a little bit more than that. One of the things that you need to do night photography, just to even try to get the night sky in a good way, is you'll need obviously a tripod, and you'll need a semi-professional camera at least something that you can change that setting down and make the shutter stay open longer. I particularly like it because when you have a long exposure, you see these clouds. They kind of look like they're water almost, and it's because they're moving, and the camera is seeing it the entire time. Now, if you do want to catch like the stars and things like that, you want to do some night photography, you're going to need to have a phone or a camera that lets you set your ISO or the sensitivity of the sensor itself to like 800. Anything more than that, you're going to get noise. For example, here's one I took with a 32,000 ISO. All the other pictures you're seeing are taken with a 400 ISO, so there's a huge difference. And as you can see, it looks terrible. And this is the same thing that'll happen with your phone. Now, one thing I did do is I did play with the aperture some on these photographs, and I did that because of many reasons. And the aperture is how much light you let into your camera. And I could spend 30 minutes on how an aperture works, what it does, blah, blah, blah. And even if I explained it, you probably wouldn't understand it anyway, because it's hard. Now, being it was my birthday this weekend, I was taken to one of these movie lounge places where you can eat and watch a movie at the same time. So we didn't order dinner, but I did have a nachos, which is way better than the movie theater nachos that you usually get, you know, the little canned cheese and the plastic bag of nachos in a tray, and you have to open it up. It's terrible. What I had was restaurant-style nachos, beans and corn and cheese, real cheese, and actual pieces of cheese on it, and it was really good. Didn't do the jalapenos though. Now, the movie we saw was Jason Bourne, and it had all the fight scenes you wanted. It had the car chase scenes and the beat 'em ups.
I think she'll use it as cover.
They tracked you. We gotta move.
One thing it didn't have was any character development. And I guess they thought they didn't need character development because you should know who he is already, because you've seen the movies 100 times, you've seen all the other ones. I think they made a huge mistake because we didn't get to know anybody. Right before doing this, I was actually watching the first Jason Bourne movie, whatever it's called, Jason Bourne, whatever. The Bourne, I don't know, breakfast or whatever it is. And I was watching that, and there was character development. You followed him, and you watched as he followed the trail, and him and the girl, they kind of had a friendship thing. She didn't want to be there, but she did. And then she's like, oh, what the hell, might as well go. And you cared about both of them, right? But in the one that's out now, Jason, just plain called Jason Bourne, it is, there's no character development in there. You don't care. In fact, Tommy Lee Jones, he's in the movie, right? Tommy Lee Jones.
I don't care!
Not until almost the end, in fact, in the third act, the end of the movie, right before the third act, I finally figured out who he was. Oh, he's a CIA director. I thought he was, I couldn't tell if he was a senator, Who was he? And why didn't they tell me that? Now, maybe they put it on a door because I didn't step out for a second and I missed that part. That may be true, but it didn't matter because I never understood his part to play in the movie.
Jason, this is Robert Dewey. Do you remember me?
I didn't. I cared about the character because I've seen the movie before, but I didn't care about the character in this movie as much as I should have. And that's a real problem. If you want to tell a story, it's about the character. You can't let that go, and they did. And so it's kind of lackluster Bourne movie. There was one huge, gigantic flaw with this film, though. And Donald and Catherine were there with me. And the camera shaking. The camera shook constantly. It shook so much that it made them sick to their stomach, both of them. And it didn't make me because, again, I deal with this kind of footage and stuff every day, so I'm used to it just kind of being crappy. And then for 30 seconds it's good, and then it's crappy. Because you really, pick the good parts, get rid of the bad. But the entire film was that way. And you could tell that they put in shake after the fact. And it was so bad at one point when in the main fight scene when the main henchman, before he got to the boss, he had to beat the main henchman before he gets to the boss, kind of like a video game. That fight scene that they had was so bad that I raised my hands and said, I give up. You win. I can't do it. So all in all, the movie Bourne Identity, or Bourne, Jason Bourne, or not all the others, was watchable. It was okay. Didn't suck. And don't even get me started on the tech. I mean, I'm going to do an entire vlog about how this tech is stupid. And, if anybody enhances another photograph on screen, enhance that blurry photograph. And it works, and it's perfect, and it's like sharp. It doesn't happen, people. You can't do it. You cannot do it. You can do it some, but if it's blurry, it's blurry. If it's not there, it's not there. That's the way it is. This is going to be an entire vlog on that, I'm telling you. Jason Bourne, scale of 1 to 10, I guess. I don't know. How many? 4. 4. I mean, 3 is bad movie. 2 is you can't watch this, and 1 is I looked at the cover and I said, I'm not watching that. Anyway, so I guess that's all I got, and I will talk to you later. What movie should I see next? Maybe you should tell me. What movie should I see next? It doesn't have to be in theaters. It could be anywhere. Anyway, bye.